Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love is Blind, Season 6, The Reunion.
Hey, hopefully y'all enjoyed the reunion. I have a lot to say. We have a lot to say. We gonna get straight into it. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Well, we start with a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But I'm going to start us at the reunion.
Okay.
So, Johnny and Amy's families are very close. They travel together. They kind of start that off so that we can see the flashbacks of the previous married couples.
Okay.
We see all the couples. Gianna is pregnant with her boyfriend that she did not meet on Love is Blind, but apparently this guy was like a runner-up on The Bachelorette, and I think he was like on Bachelor in Paradise.
We don't care about that guy. I don't even know why he was there. I think his name was Blake.
Yeah.
Blake and Gianna, y'all both can go home. Let's keep going.
Well, she was going to do the perfect match, but she fell in love with him first and didn't end up going on that show. So, getting into it. Jeremy's love life is going well. He is seeing someone, and they bring out who he's seeing, which is Sarah Ann. They kiss when she hits the stage, and apparently they live together and have been dating for almost a year now.
What do you think about that so far?
I thought that was to be expected.
Yeah.
Pretty much. What did you think?
Well, based on the seating chart and based on the what we saw the trailer and things like that, we did not see Laura Ann in the trailer. We did not see Laura Ann.
Sarah Ann.
Not Laura Ann. Laura. We did not see Laura on the seating chart, and we did not see Laura in any of the trailers. So it was like, where's Laura? So obviously, Jeremy came in with the objective to make Laura upset because he had a Hawaiian shirt. So when I saw Sarah Ann come out, I was like, of course. Like basically, this is just to get under Laura's skin. But in my head, I was like, Laura's not there. So to me, I was like, this kind of fell flat because Jeremy's objective was to get under Laura's skin. Sarah was there to basically get under all our skin, basically. And I'm like, well, the person that you intended to make upset, they're not there. So it's like, why are y'all here now?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, they do bring Laura in from Zoom call.
Yeah.
She is in Spain for work. Nick asked her about the woman he was engaged to while he was applying, asking Jeremy. Jeremy was previously engaged. He says that he sold his house and he applied for the process after he was on his own. Both of the ladies, Laura and Sarah, agreed that he did tell them that he was engaged previously.
Yeah, I'm already liking how they bring in outside news into the reunion and things like that to make it more present.
Yes, this is like current present day with all of the news that broke out. So we're addressing everything, not just what happened on the show.
Facts.
So good stuff right there. Jeremy was at Sarah Ann's house when he dropped her off. The question was, why did you leave your location on and then lie about it? And he doesn't really know. He really doesn't answer the question.
He really don't. He stammers through his answer. He basically gives no excuse. And basically, we all like, well, what did you do with Sarah Ann? He was like, all I did was drop her off. We was like, we don't believe you, brother. We don't believe you.
Then Laura and Jeremy disagree on the events that happened and what he actually told her. Yeah. She says that she was awake. He said that she was asleep. He said that he went immediately to tell her when he could tell she was starting to get up that he went to see Sarah Ann, and Laura was like, no, I pretty much had to pry it out of you. So we don't really know what was true because we weren't there.
Well, I'm going to believe Laura.
Yeah.
And that's not even me taking up for Laura, because I'm not really a big fan of Laura either, to be honest. But Jeremy just comes off basically how you see him sitting on the stage as a liar. Yeah. Like he just comes off as shiesty. You get what I'm saying? And Sarah Ann, she had a lot to say for someone who wasn't chosen in the pods. But she is definitely, quote unquote, not there either. It almost seemed like a perfect match with them two. Yeah. It's like, let's just have them together and put them on their own couch section of basically the stage.
On the end.
Yeah.
The clowns, as Laura would say. Sarah Ann says to Laura that she's the clown for telling him that she was a pick-me girl. When she says, Laura, you're the pick-me girl, Jessica chimes in and she says, Sarah, you are the pick-me girl.
Yes. I don't think Sarah Ann know what pick-me girl means.
I don't think so, because she was literally jumping up and down, waving both of her hands, saying, pick me, as soon as he got back from the vacation.
Well, for one, you're the pick me girl because you're the one that slid in the DMs of someone who's engaged.
Exactly.
So I think that's like Sarah. That's what Sarah Ann. That's what pick me girl.
That's
means.
what we're talking about.
Yes, we're not talking about like Laura. How is she's the fiance?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? She's the one that was picked.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You're the pick me if things don't work out. You get what I'm saying? Here's the thing about it.
Begging.
I will always say it's always up to the ones that's in the relationship to defend the relationship. But at the same time, I don't know why Sarah Ann is confused why we all really don't bang with her.
Yeah.
If you're going to do what you did, Sarah Ann, you got to live in that villain role.
Exactly.
You have to flaunt in that villain role.
The fact that I got what I wanted.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. F all y'all.
And if he wanted you, he would have stayed with you, but he was with me at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's what Sarah Ann should have did.
If she was really going to be in her bag.
Came out in her full villain bag.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Not on this whole, like, woe is me because y'all kicked me out of the group chat and all this other crap. I'm like, Sarah, no. Continue.
Well, Sarah Ann tells everyone that she and Jeremy did not kiss. He wasn't invited into her home.
Do you believe that? That they didn't kiss?
No. I don't believe it.
My whole thing is he lied about one thing. Who am I to believe anything that they say?
Yeah.
Like, because their stories match too perfectly.
Yeah, like they concocted a story to tell
so
everybody.
It's like, I don't believe it.
I don't know.
You probably didn't sleep with her. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, I was listening to Sarah Ann talk for the first 20 to 30 minutes of the episode. And I was like, I wouldn't want to talk to you all night. So I'm very interested in why would Jeremy want to talk to her until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, I could understand. I mean, just to hash out why you weren't chosen and all this type of stuff.
That's not how it goes.
So, okay. Well, Laura doesn't care what they said they did because she thinks they're both disgusting.
Okay, that's true.
She had doubts when they bumped heads when it came to her relationship with Jeremy, but she never thought that she wouldn't get married. She even says to the point where her 96-year-old grandma was planning on taking a plane trip to this wedding that she believed was happening.
Let's bring grandma into it.
Laura said that when he was with Sarah Ann, he said he would end the relationship with Laura. Now, we see some unseen footage of Sarah Ann and Laura at the lake talking. And I was wondering, why would they not show this during that episode? But I guess maybe they needed it for the reunion. Who knows? Well, Sarah Ann apologized for hurting Laura, even though she said that wasn't her intention. Yeah, your intention was to be selfish.
Yeah.
And in being selfish, you just hurt other people in the process.
Yeah.
She didn't come to ruin her relationship, but she didn't get off her chest what she needed to.
What was that?
She wanted her man.
Okay. Interesting.
She thought that if they're not married, then she could send a message and then move on with her life. She sent it knowing that they would both probably see it. And she even commented on the fact, she said that if things don't work out, you could hit me up. And she was like, that was just, I thought she said she was going to move on with her life, but it sounded like she was waiting in the wings with that one. She thought that Laura was strong and thought that she'd think it was valid because she would be secure that she had him.
So basically the message wouldn't mean anything because you're mine now.
Right. Laura did think the message was disrespectful, but Jeremy was the one who proposed to her.
It was disrespectful.
And Laura says that how Jeremy conducts himself is not what he's shown. How he says he conducts himself is not what he's shown. She says that he likes attention and he's been talking about his image and how he looks worse than Jimmy.
And listen here. Is that what he said, or was it something across the lines of everybody know Jimmy's the villain or something like that? Was that like the key line or something like that basically got Jimmy a little tight as well too?
Well, that's what Jimmy was remembering, that when he was in the pods trying to make his tough decision, everyone else was picking him up, and then Jeremy said in those pods, at least I can sleep tonight knowing Jimmy's the villain.
Okay, now here's the thing about it, right? We gonna do some reverse engineering because I think Chelsea, quote unquote, has been so manipulative that we kind of forget Jimmy James' origin story.
Right.
We wasn't a fan of Jimmy James.
No.
You get what I'm saying? There's things that Jimmy James spoke of himself as him being a leader and things like that, and seeing how he would freeze up in the pods with Jessica, even with Chelsea, and basically chose Chelsea off the strength of that. She said she looked like Megan Fox. We wasn't fans of Jimmy James. You get what I'm saying? But Jeremy, for you to quote unquote basically saying how you can sleep peacefully knowing that Jimmy's the villain, what are you talking about, brother? You get what I'm saying? For one, Sarah Ann, to go back to what Blair said about, I really had no problem sending it because I knew you were secure and basically I sent it knowing that you was going to see it anyway, so it wasn't really behind your back. Then why didn't you include them in the group? You can put more reciprocal. You can include both of them.
Right.
Send it to both of them, but you didn't do that. So the whole point is Sarah Ann, you lost. And here's the thing, and even with you winning Jeremy, you lost. Because even throughout the episode, we find out that y'all not really on good terms anyway throughout your relationship and things of that nature. On and off. And Jeremy just looks pale. He looks conniving. He looks shisty. He looks like a liar and things like that. And for him to basically, quote unquote, try to, oh, Jimmy, I don't remember saying that, but if I said that, I'm sorry. It's like, nah, man, like you got called out a lot of times, and at the end of the day, like, you get what you deserve. You get what I'm saying? And that could be Sarah, that could be nobody, and it seems like the way y'all moving, it seems like y'all not having a good time together anyway.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? What do you think about it?
I just think it's so messy, just overall. And I wish, like we said earlier, they would just sit in their villain bag. Like you were engaged to this lady. You went to hang out with this other woman. And instead of fighting for the relationship that you chose back, you decided to go on the path that was easier and just get with the girl who was thirsty for you.
To get with the yep.
So we all see it for what it is. And the thing is, no, he wasn't married at the time.
No.
It was very messy.
No.
But if he decided to leave Laura and get with you, at the end of the day, that's y'all's business. And it's great it worked out that way, so Laura wouldn't have been married to him and then had to get a divorce because he wouldn't be out here be stupid.
That's true.
So honestly, I'm just like, it's messy, it's shysty, I hate it. But at this point, no harm, no foul to me. Okay, they can move on with their lives, but yeah, let's not fool with Jeremy and Sarah because they're some selfish individuals.
Because if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm sure Sarah Ann would have a problem.
Exactly. Absolutely. And Laura basically prompts them to apologize to her, and they do give an apology, but AD doesn't think the apology matters since Sarah Ann still pursued Jeremy in the end. Sarah doesn't talk to any of the women, and Chelsea says, well, you unfollowed the women, but you kept following our fiancés. So what's up with that? She ain't had nothing to say. Sarah Ann tells Jessica, well, you saw me crying. You're not a girl's girl. And Jessica says, your feelings are valid. Just as a group, we thought that both of you could have handled the situation more respectfully. So Sarah Ann's over here trying to point a finger to people, telling them that you're the one who's a clown. You're not a girl's girl. You're a pick-me. And it's just like, they're not. You are.
Yeah.
So accept it.
And Jessica's basically saying, first of all, I remove you from the group. And so if you got any of that energy, bring it towards me. And truth be told, we don't even care that much. We just saying that both of y'all played a part in this and y'all could have had, y'all need to take accountability for what y'all did.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, y'all should just came out and just been the bad boys of the reunion. Just basically be like, this is what we did. We don't care. And just walk off the set.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, truth be told, it straight would have been less time wasted on y'all because we really don't even care about y'all, to be honest.
No.
But, like, that's what y'all should have did.
Well, Chelsea says that every time she sees Jeremy, they're broken up. She's seen him twice. He said, I only seen you once. She said twice.
She said, I seen you twice.
When she asked if he was with Sarah Ann, he said no. Jeremy says that they've had their on and offs, but they ended up moving in together, which they currently are.
Yeah.
Sarah Ann took a video of herself in Jeremy's home, and I think Nick or Vanessa that was basically saying, like, some people felt that you ruined the end of the episode or the reunion.
Nick, it was Nick.
Yeah, of what was going to happen. And she said that she didn't think people would figure out where she was.
Yeah.
I just think Sarah Ann just isn't the brightest.
No.
She's just out here moving and just not thinking.
I think Nick and who is his wife's name?
Vanessa.
I think they're tired of y'all trying to ruin the integrity of the show. So they use this scene as basically like, look, listen here. Because she said, basically, in the video, Sarah Ann said, are you not entertained? Basically, we are entertainers.
Like, we're putting on a show. Aren't you enjoying it?
So that's when Nick was like, no, this is not that. You get what I'm saying? Basically, he put everybody in their place on that stage and everybody who to come on that stage. Basically, to be like, look, when you sign up for this is a real thing. I don't care who's y'all here making TikTok. TikTok probably going to be banned in a couple months anyway. But I don't care who making TikToks or making these social media posts and things like that. But what you did is unacceptable for the brand of the show and things like that. And she was like, well, that's not really what I meant. And I ain't mean for it to come off that way. That's why I'm like, they didn't really sit in anything that they did.
No, she said it was taken out of context. What do you mean?
No. Nick
we saw the clip. They literally showed us her TikTok.
Nick wasn't feeling that.
She said that she fell in love with Jeremy. They had a strong connection. She doesn't think anything between them is fake. She put the video up because she was experiencing hate. And she said, to them, I'm just a character.
Well,
so you're just trying to troll people because you made the show look bad.
Yeah.
Laura said that he met her whole family.
Yeah.
This is when the grandma was going to get a flight into the wedding. And that's why Laura was coming across so hot and heated.
Yeah.
Half of that convo, when they were having that convo by the lake, it felt like Sarah Ann was asking Laura for advice on her future relationship, which Laura was not feeling. She thought that they would at least come in apologetic. Sarah Ann, that she did it to put out entertainment of her own, but she thinks the experiment works, talking about her clip. And in her pursuit of love, hearts got broken and she apologized. Jeremy apologizes.
Listen here. We already knew what type of timing Sarah Ann and Jeremy was on because when they introduced Laura, she asked Jeremy, should we clap? Do we clap for her? Do we clap? And Jeremy said no. So I'm like, Jeremy, I'm just waiting for them to get this segment off of you, buddy. Because listen here, I ain't got enough feet to keep my foot on their necks. I already got a foot dedicated for Chelsea, right? And today I got another foot dedicated for AD.
I was hoping you would say AD.
I only have two. I only have one set of feet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't have time to quote unquote read Jeremy and read Sarah Ann. Chelsea, listen, she already put hers aside. She set hers aside like Chris go read me forever.
Yeah.
So, and guess what? They told me to keep my foot on her neck, so I got to keep my foot on her neck.
We can't cha-cha on everybody's neck.
No. But AD, when the segment comes, AD, I got something for you, AD. Okay?
Well, Laura is dating someone new now, and Nick and Vanessa are about to say goodbye when Laura says, I want to clear up the bean dip situation.
Please, because I was actually about to say, why didn't y'all bring up the bean dip thing?
Yeah. She says that it was a joke. There was no disrespect behind it.
Yeah.
She apologized before. She said she'll apologize again and as many times as she needs to because it really wasn't meant to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Jeremy also apologizes for throwing it out there.
Listen here, Laura. I'm sorry that Jeremy ruined your experience. Even though I felt like she was going to say no at the altar anyway, but I felt like people want the right to say no. Right. And not to be quote unquote carted off the experience, cut off from the experience in the middle of it. So Laura, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry, Jeremy did that to you. Everything else though, I'm not sorry how I feel about you though, because I'm still not a fan of Laura.
Yeah, I'm not either.
And so it's like, yes, that bean dip, you may see it as a joke, but it's not a joke. And I'm not holding this. If AD cool with it, who am I?
Yeah, but my thing is, like, I hate an apology like that. It was a joke, but I'm sorry. Like, no, just say you're sorry. Yeah. You don't have to tell us it's a joke every time. I get you thought it was funny. It wasn't.
But what is your sensibilities that made you thought it was funny? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But listen here, I only got one set of feet. Yeah. So guess what? Today you skated by. Okay. Hopefully everything goes good with you in life. You skated by. Right. Okay. Let's keep going.
Oh, now it is Trevor's segment.
Yeah.
Trevor gets on the stage, and apparently screenshots came out of Trevor and his girlfriend the same time he was participating in the experiment. They said you texted her while you were traveling there and also while you were in the pods. And they show us the text.
They said we got the text.
Line for line, word for word.
I don't think Trevor knew that they had the text.
I think that's what got him caught up because he was like, oh, dang, they had the proof.
No, because he said... He said something across the lines of, I came out with something prepared to say. Yeah. But I don't know what to say. Yeah. Because Nick and Vanessa was like, listen here. Y'all ain't going to tell us we didn't do a good job on this reunion. They said, we got the text. And then they showed it line by line. And Trevor, boy. Mute. Trevor, you look bad, bruh.
AD said, don't get quiet now.
AD. Trust me, AD.
Well, I was glad she said that, but we getting to you.
Yeah, but my whole thing with Trevor, for these people who are liars and manipulators and things like that, I don't understand why they just won't sit in that character.
Yeah, just be
Trevor,
awful.
Trevor came out there and said, Trevor should have came out there like he was on Jerry Springer or something out there. He should be like, I did it. I sent the text. Me. I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me hear your boo. Louder.
He straight he should just cheered on the crowd. He should have stood on the chair and stuff like that, and just live in it. But he looked. I can't even say he looked apologetic.
He looked caught.
He just looked caught. You get what I'm saying?
He was like, dang, they really got me.
Keep going.
Well, Trevor said, like you said, he had a thing planned to say. Now he don't know what to say.
Of course not.
He starts by saying that him and that girl weren't exclusive, but they were close. She was the typical girl he would go for in real life, but he told her that he wanted to go on the show to do a different experience, to try something new, and see if he could connect with somebody who wasn't his typical type. He acknowledges that it was horrible. But Nick says, you're saying I love you to someone as you're entering the pods. That's where the texts come in, because we know what you say. Okay. And you don't say I love you to somebody you don't care about, do you? And at first he said, like, I have, but then I think he switched up to say, well, he did love and care for the girl. And Nick says, how unfair is it to everyone on the stage, and really Chelsea, to where she could have possibly chose Trevor and you had somebody on the outside. He says that the girl he was with was toxic. He was toxic as well. He says that he needs a lot of therapy. And if Chelsea would have chosen him, he would have married her, and the other girl knew it.
Listen here, Trevor. You just don't look good, buddy. The fact, for one, I don't like you off the strength that you made Chelsea a sentimental character in this moment. Now we feel bad for Chelsea in the sense of, what if she would have chose you? You would have robbed her from that experience as well, and things like that. And Trevor just there while Nick is grilling him, while Vanessa's grilling him and things like that. He just like, can I go now? And they like, no, not yet. Not yet. We got more things to ask, more things to bring in. Get comfortable, things like that. He came out, the way he was dressed looked like he was sweating through his clothes because his clothes didn't look well put together and nothing like that. And it was just, listen here, they teased him when in the beginning of the show. They basically was like, hey, we got big things coming for you. And then they show like a cut scene of Trevor in the pods with a clock counting down, like in 30 minutes Trevor gonna be out here, because they basically was like, look here, I don't know what y'all thought, because the first segment was Laura, Sarah Ann, and Jeremy, right? And then they included Trevor in that I would say that first segment is called the integrity of the show. Yes. Right? They wanted to grill Trevor as a representation of future contestants to come on this show. Listen here, if you're not going to take this seriously, because Love is Blind already don't have big credibility as well. You know what I'm saying? What reality love TV show really have big credibility, really? You get what I'm saying? So they basically kept Trevor on there for him to basically put him on that whooping post. And basically, like, if you think you could come on here and be fake, already be in a relationship, to basically pursue a career or to grow your career. Because I think Vanessa asked him that, like, did you come on here to grow your career? And that's when he was like, what is my career? Like,
and she said, I don't know. Whatever the hell you got going on, I don't know.
So basically, they using Trevor as an example for future contestants. This is what we will do at reunions. We will flame you. We will expose you and things like that, so we can take the heat off of us. Right. Like, this is not supposed to be staged. We don't want to give no type of feeling that it is staged. So listen here, I have no beef with what Nick and Vanessa did to Trevor. Nah. None.
Props, actually. Well, Chelsea says, because they asked Chelsea if she has anything to say, and she said she's not here to grill him. She had an intuition, and that's why she didn't pick him.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe you, Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Your time coming. Chelsea, your time coming, okay?
Whatever. Brittany says that it's disrespectful for you to be playing the other women, but it's concerning that the girl that you were with is okay with that. Okay. But it's disrespectful to us going in with the right intentions. Okay. Chelsea says that if I chose you, would she have been lingering around? And Trevor says no. I don't believe that. He says that he was an emotional wreck when he went into the pods. He says he came there for good and bad reasons. And he tells Chelsea that he will answer any questions he needs to. He doesn't care about the public opinion. He's not going to answer nobody else's questions. But if Chelsea needs to know something for her closure, he's willing to give it to her.
Listen here, I'd rather lie to you one-on-one without the cameras than lie to you in front of the cameras.
Mind you, he texted the girl, I'm going to marry you. So what are we doing here?
Listen here, that man was trying to get anybody on his side. He was like, I was an emotional wreck. Listen here, ask Johnny. Y'all like Johnny.
And Johnny was like, yeah, he was crying.
Number one, I don't like Johnny. Okay, like when they got the Amy and Johnny segment, I was like, do you want fast forward, Blair?
I was just like, oh my gosh.
So Trevor, don't speak for me. Okay, don't tell me who I like. Okay.
Right. Nick says participating in Love is Blind is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's not for people to come on for fame. And if you come with ulterior motives, we have to call you out. And then they say, Trevor, you said you wanted to leave before. Now's the time. You can go.
And he just got up and walked to the car.
He walked home.
We ain't see each other no more. Trevor was like, okay. Oh, boy.
Well, a lot of weeks went by before AD spoke to Clay.
Oh boy, is this the AD segment?
Yes.
Let me put my boots on.
Okay.
Because I'm ready to come in. I'm sorry y'all had to wait 25 minutes for this, but I'm ready to come in.
Clay thought that he shouldn't reach out to her, disrespect thing, letting her time to get over it. But he did end up calling her, and he said that there were a couple of missed messages, but he called her and she ended up picking up. AD said that it was tough watching herself have a meltdown on the wedding day.
That's true.
And Clay felt like the biggest dick and that he disrespected her family and wasted their time.
Yeah.
Nick asked, looking back, would he have done things differently? And Clay said that he battles with getting in his own way, wondering if he was a good or bad person, and he's not the guy that deserves love and marriage, is what he was all feeling at that time.
Yeah.
He says that she is the love of his life, and he made a mistake by saying no. He's been going to therapy so he can be a better person.
Well, your thoughts, Blair?
I don't believe Clay. I mean, I believe that he has all of these things he's working through.
Yeah.
And I do believe that he seems to want to do the work so he can get to a space of marriage and love and all that type of stuff. But saying that AD was the love of his life, I feel like that's just kind of putting it on a little thick. I don't know if I believe that.
Here's the thing with Clay. I don't believe Clay either. Because I don't really know when people say I'm working through. That is a vague thing. I need specifics, right? And even therapy becomes a vague thing because therapy becomes such a... Back in the day, it was taboo to where like, oh, like if you was going to therapy, we took it seriously. But now people use that as a quote-unquote scapegoat. Like, oh, I need therapy. I'm going to therapy. Trevor said that last segment. You get what I'm saying?
He said he need to go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like... So it's like whenever you hear therapy now, the more people accept it now, the more that it's accepted now, the more people is going to use it for their advantage. And I think in this segment right here, Clay is using it to his advantage to basically to excuse his actions that we saw on the show. Because it's one thing to say no, but it's another thing to say no in the way that he did.
Right.
You know what I mean? So of course, AD looking at it and she didn't like how it looked. And he's like, well, you know, I was going to say yes. And I was battling within myself. And I'm in therapy because how it looked like you played her.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I think he did that to basically have a scapegoat that he could just be like, I'm in therapy. I'm going to therapy. You know, I'm working through some things. I have a hard time even thinking I should accept love or that I supposed to be in love and things like that. Am I a good person? Am I a bad person? I think he's just playing that up. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, I think Vanessa or Nick asked AD, what does she feel hearing that from him?
Yeah.
And it takes her back to day one of falling for him and knowing that she could be everything he needed. But seeing how things have played out, like she knows at this point that there's nothing more she could have done. Yeah. Him saying it was a mistake, she doesn't know what to do with that information because he did say that it was a mistake that he said no on the wedding. And I'm just like, no, it wasn't a mistake. You weren't ready.
No, you wasn't ready.
No, you wasn't ready. Vanessa asked if they could date each other again. Clay says yes. AD says that he had his chance and he played in her face because he knew he didn't want to get married, and he told her that's not true.
Is this the part where she said next question, where they asked her first and she said next question or something like that? Or was this like another segment?
I think that is the segment when they asked if she could get back with him, and that's when she said
next question. Oh, okay.
And then she went on to say that he played in her face.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he didn't know. He said that he was going back and forth when he saw her walking down the aisle, and he really didn't make his decision until pretty much he spoke it. He didn't know if he could show up for her every day, and he says he didn't do the process right. He thinks he put the work in, and he's ready now. He wants to be a good guy and the best version of himself. It broke his heart to break her heart. And he says that he's come out a better man and credits that to AD.
What do you think? Because I'm going to let you go first every time.
I'm just saying it was nice, pleasant words. I just have to see it backed up by actions, but I don't think that AD should give him a chance, honestly. I think he has made his impression on her, and if I was her, I wouldn't trust him.
AD, with those red finger nail polish, get a red nose to match, okay? Because you're a clown. For that whole segment right there, where I believe they ask you, do you see yourself, quote unquote, getting back with Clay or dating Clay? You did a little laugh and said, next question. Mm-hmm. You are a quote unquote pick me girl. Because at first I was confused, and I think you confused a lot of our audience of thinking like, oh, you're just somebody who don't think that they just worthy. And basically, you just need to work with your self-esteem. And, these men be playing you and things like that. But after a while, you see the red flags. And things be blinking red. And truth be told, we fell for it because in the first episode of the pods, you told us that you see the red flags and you paint your nails to match. Yeah. And I was saying, well, get the nose to match. Well, get the wig to match and things like that. So you can be a clown with your decisions.
Yeah, she wants to play the game.
Exactly. So if you want to play the game,
she wants to be in the circus.
Then guess what? Go ahead, dance for us then. Because what you did, basically for all of this, you treated Clay based on how she quote unquote described him. Oh, he's sexy, he's gorgeous, chocolate. That's all we need for a great mess. You treated him as if he was the baddie, as if you're not capable of getting a baddie. Because from a guy perspective, when a guy gets a baddie and things like that, we ignore everything else. We be like, listen here, she looks amazing. We will work everything out on the back end and things like that. And they figured in the next thing you know, you realize there's a lot of maintenance to keep that up and things like that. But that's what AD's doing with Clay. She treating Clay as if this is the best that she could ever get. And she ignored everything. And now we supposed to feel sorry for you when we knew this was going to happen. Vanessa said in the beginning of the segment, this is the couple we was cheering for. Who was cheering for them? I wasn't cheering for them.
I was not.
So my whole thing
I was like, AD, wake up.
No, it's not. She is awake. Yeah. She likes to play the game.
She likes it.
It's a rush for her and things like that.
So I'm going to let it go. You do your thing.
You're not a sentimental character. You are actually a participant in your own destruction. So it has nothing to do with I'm not worthy. Listen here, you put yourself out to be looked and viewed and treated that way because you know red, green, yellow signs and things of that nature. And you said, when I see red signs, I paint my nails. That's what you said. Mm-hmm. I'm not putting words in her mouth. Am I putting words in her mouth?
No.
And so I'm saying just get the nose to match. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Nick asked AD, how was it when you saw Clay's mom and dad in that conversation? Yeah. And she felt that conversation actually closed the circle for her. Mm-hmm. And she saw that Clay was battling things that there's nothing she could have done. Mm-hmm. And AD didn't want to end up being Clay's mom. And honestly, that's what you were agreeing to. You kept telling him, you'll lead. Yeah. You were about to be this man's mom.
And at the end of the day, I took it completely different of how you took it. I took it as, I don't want to be Clay's mom in the sense of like my husband cheating on me behind the back and things of that nature. Oh, first of all,
that too.
Don't speak of my mama. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because truth of the matter is you're probably worse than Clay's mom. Mm-hmm. Because at least with Clay's mom, she didn't know. You get what I'm saying? The man had to go out the state, out the city lines to do his dirt and things of that nature. And it came out that he was being unfaithful. But you saw the signs. And you still chose to go with Clay and things of that nature. So don't try to be like, oh, I'm better than Clay's mom in that way or allude to that. That basically, like, I ain't trying to be like Clay's mom, basically being an unfaithful marriage and things like that. Basically seeing how y'all interact with your father and mother and things like that. With Clay, no excuse. I don't care. Truth be told, I really have no empathy or sympathy for Clay when it comes to my father, quote unquote, was cheating on my mom and things of that nature. You chose to follow your father's traits because you thought your mother was weak. Mm-hmm. Because you could easily view your mother traits and be like, she's loyal, she stayed faithful to this man, and that's what I'm going to do in my marriage. But you chose to follow your father because you thought your mother was weak. That's just the facts. Because they both your parents. They both got the equal say over your life. They both got the equal DNA over your whole body. So why did you choose to go with cheating is in my gene. I'm a bad person, y'all.
Yeah.
But why not go after your mother good traits?
Yeah. Well, hopefully therapy's clearing that up for him.
He's not in therapy.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe he's in therapy. I really don't.
Well, Clay says that his family is still working towards healing. Nick asked if his dad apologized to him, and Clay basically said he did it in his own way. Oh. And that's good enough for him.
He didn't even apologize.
No.
You get what I'm saying? He probably started talking about track and field again.
Exactly.
He probably was like, well, sometimes when you run, you fall. And when you fall, you scrape your knee. But at the end of the day, you get back up and you keep running again.
And that was the apology.
And I'm sorry, I scraped your knee, son. I'm like, what are you talking about? And a lot of people get confused because I've seen this a lot of times, especially I was watching it on TV and on Twitter and things like that. And people were like, oh my God, why am I falling for Clay's apology? Because he was tearing up and he was crying and things like that. And be careful of these type of guys. I'm going to tell you from a guy's perspective. He said that it was a big mistake and that AD is the love of his life. You get what I'm saying?
There was even a moment. Oh, no, maybe that's later. Go ahead.
Right? Mm-hmm. He said he's the love of my life and he's tearing up and he's crying and things like that. Don't fall for the tears, right? Because at the end of the day, sometimes it's not about losing you. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that he lost.
Yeah.
Men would get emotional about losing more than losing the person. So he could be tearing up and feeling bad because people view him as a bad guy. That straight can quote unquote support what he already feels inside. That doesn't mean or support that, oh man, like I do want to marry AD now or that I love AD. It just means like, oh, these inner demons that I was quote unquote only saw, everybody see, and it makes me feel some type of way. I feel like I lost. And someone who is competitive as Clay was, as he talked about his athletic past and things like that, I'm sure he did not take losing well. So I don't take him crying over losing AD as in him crying for AD more than him losing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it was during that conversation when they were talking about being married. And she was like, well, if you wanted to be married so bad, then why are we not married? Mm. And if you wanted her back so bad, then why aren't you trying to get her back? Mm. So I don't trust it. I don't believe it.
No.
So
trust me.
Let's move on.
I was an immature boy at one time. There was many girls I quote unquote said that you were the love of my life and I'm sorry that we lost. And guess what? I'm married to her and I ain't married to them. Mm. Because at the end of the day, I just didn't like losing. You get what I'm saying? So I think with AD and Clay, like she should just break it. But based on what we saw, I think this clip came out after the reunion was filmed. We seen her in there dancing with Clay.
Yeah, apparently that was like the last Thanksgiving.
So who
knows?
Who knows what she's doing? You
right.
Get what I'm saying?
Well, Nick asked Clay, who was it that you were looking at past seasons when you said this looked like a guy who was ready for marriage?
Yeah.
That you looked up to. Clay was watching Brett and thought he did the right things. He was a good husband, and he looked at himself and didn't think he could do what Brett did. Okay. He thinks Brett's a stand-up guy. Mm-hmm. And they asked Brett how he felt about that, and Brett says, thank you. Brett gets emotional because he didn't come from a perfect home. He came from a broken family as well. Mm-hmm. And he was concerned about how he would show up in the experiment. But Tiffany created the space for him to be the person that he could be, especially after filming stopped. Mm-hmm. He says that it's humbling to hear that, especially like black man to black man. Mm-hmm. And Tiffany says that Brett is doing more than all right when it comes to being a husband. Yeah. Every day she falls more in love with him, and they've been traveling the world, and they are looking for their first home in Portland.
Look, Clay didn't give AD the chance to do that.
And she was willing to.
Listen here, she said there's nothing Clay could have done. Yeah. I'm like, wow, nothing?
Right.
Nothing means nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he didn't even give her the opportunity to do that. And it just shows that Brett, I didn't see season 4, so I don't know much about Brett. But Brett said he came from a broken home too, to where it was basically the father wasn't there, things like that. And guess what? Cheating or whatever Clay thought of himself is not hereditary. Mm. Brett didn't take that on as his burden and things like that. He said, look, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show up for this, so I'm just going to do the bare minimum, and that is treat someone how I want to be treated.
Yeah.
That's really all you really have to do in a marriage.
He made it much more complicated. That's why Clay said he was in his head the whole time.
There is no secret to marriage. The secret tips to success: treat someone how you would like to be treated. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we see Johnny and Amy's highlights from their first year of marriage.
Don't fast forward, y'all. We gonna talk about.
We're gonna keep it short. Yeah. They had a great time. Vanessa asks if they've had their knockout drag-out fight that they were worried about, and they both say no. When they have disagreements, they just talk about it and they move on.
Of course y'all do.
So now we will move on.
Yes, thank you.
They do some viewer questions, and they have the previous contestants read off the questions. And one question for Johnny was, were condoms not an option? And Johnny says condoms were always an option. He didn't know about the topic of birth control. And really, Amy was the one who had to explain it to him. She didn't end up getting on birth control, and he didn't have a vasectomy, so they figured it out. They left it pretty vague. So I'm thinking they're doing the ovulation thing.
Basically, just keep a track of the calendar and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, the question is, what did you think about the conversation between Jessica and Laura about Jimmy? They asked Chelsea, and Chelsea says the conversation was disrespectful to her relationship, and it actually added to her insecurities, and it did hurt her. But Jessica and her are on good terms now. Jessica pipes up and says that the conversation was wildly disrespectful, and it wasn't her best moment.
Yeah.
Does Jeremy share his location with you? Sarah Ann says yes. What did your friend think about Chelsea sharing your little secret with the world?
That's one of the
asking
questions.
Jimmy.
Yep.
Jimmy said that his friend was mad and she didn't deserve that. And she was there to support both of them. One of them is pissed off at Jimmy for bringing it up, but he told Chelsea in confidence. He told Chelsea because he was planning on marrying her and he didn't want to keep anything from his future spouse.
Yeah.
Jeremy says that he can handle it, but it was unfair to his friend. And they kind of go around and asking like what people thought about that. Clay says that she shouldn't have said it if it was in confidence. Micah said that if it was affecting the relationship, then it's something that needed to be talked about.
Yeah, I realized throughout this time when they asked like, hey, if this was your situation, how do y'all feel about saying that? Everybody was scared to say that Chelsea was wrong.
Yeah.
Chelsea was wrong. I say it right now. You get what I'm saying? And Clay was the only one that'd be like, hey, if it was something in confidence, something in private, it should have stayed that way. And then Micah, who we didn't ask to see, and things like that. Well, if it was bothering or affecting the relationship, then it should be talked about. You gotta understand, Chelsea talked about everything.
Yeah.
To a T. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think this was affecting the relationship. You gotta look at the context. She was digging.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? She was like, where are you with Jessica? Okay, where are you with your friends? Okay, Mackenzie told me this.
And that was the last thing that came out because there was nothing else she could pinpoint to be mad about.
Exactly. So it wasn't to affect the relationship. What was affecting the relationship was the fact that she is an arsonist and that she's also a manipulator and that she's just not a good person when it came to this relationship on the show.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. Because she tried to use her feelings to quote unquote put Jimmy in a corner, and that's not a good person.
Well, Chelsea says that she forgets about the cameras and it was a huge argument.
Don't
she apologizes again. Jimmy says that she can speak up on her feelings, but he didn't like how the information came out. And Jimmy tells her that he should have let her go at that point, but he drug it on because he did love her.
Well, put it like that. I 100% agree. You should have ended it right there.
Yeah, he should have.
Because I was disappointed in Jimmy James when you didn't end it. Because I was like, oh, this is a perfect out. This is a perfect out. Yep.
Well, AD knows Chelsea as fun and bubbly, and seeing her that way was tough to watch. Jessica was still attached to Jimmy at the lake. He has a part of him that she won't get back. She shares some special moments with him, but they both knew that it wouldn't have worked. Jimmy said that in person, it seemed more like a friend type of thing, and he was engaged and wanted Chelsea to know that he was all hands on deck, fully in with her.
Well, listen here. I don't know what this AD talk about. I know Chelsea to be this fun, bubbly person. I ain't see that on camera.
I mean, I can see that because of how she acts in front of other people. And she's always like giggly and goofy. And I think that's what she likes to put out there.
I get goofy.
Yeah. And I think that's the bubbly that 80's talking about.
I guess.
But then when they get home, she'd be over there acting like everything's cool. But when she get home, she's starting to breaking down crying because ain't nothing was funny.
Exactly.
Well, they ask Jimmy, when he saw the picture of Jessica, did he choke? And he's just said that she's very beautiful. When he got his phone back, he followed everybody, but he withdrew his follow from Jessica. But Jeremy did show him the picture.
Yeah, listen here. He said, obviously, you're gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, thank you, Jimmy Jane. Say that right across her face. Send it right there. Because, listen here, Chelsea, because I don't know if they are together because they did not ask that at the reunion. That's one question that I was looking forward to, seeing are they together now? Because we saw clips of them having lunch or things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I don't think they are.
I think what happens is, with any show, the cast kind of just stays friends. They stay like a close knit group.
Yeah.
But Jimmy James, you should don't even
hang out with her.
No, don't even hang out with her. No.
Yeah. Well, they ask if Jessica and Jimmy are on good terms. Mm-hmm. And Jessica thought they were. Yeah. But when the show came out and Chelsea received a lot of hate, she sent him a message saying that I don't enjoy seeing people drag you guys. And she said that in interviews, she would only speak positively, which she did. Mm-hmm. But when he did an interview, he actually tried to throw her under the bus. He said that she hammered him about his other connections. He also said that she left 10 minutes into a date and stormed out. And she left after an hour, and he agreed to them taking an intermission to come back.
Yeah, it was like an hour and 21 minutes, something like that.
When she had interviews, she spoke highly of him. Her tone of voice apparently shook him. He was scared. Yeah. He was trying to give his perspective of why he didn't choose her to the interviewer. And he tells her that she didn't say she loved him when she was saying that to the other women in the pods, well, in the women's lounge or whatever. So to him, he's like, we both weren't saying everything, because she asked, like, why didn't you just give me something? Yeah. Yeah. And
he basically was like, well, you wanted me to say I love you. She was like, no, I didn't want that.
No, I just wanted to know how you were feeling.
Yeah, I think Jimmy James we forgot that when he read the letter,
he was silent.
He literally was quiet to the point where she had to ask, are you still there? He didn't give her nothing, no recognition, not even a thank you. He just took it like, wow. And then he was just quiet like Trevor was on stage. So, yeah. I agree.
Well, he says that she left the day early, and he said that it felt like 10 minutes, but he'll give her 45. So then what is it really?
no, Jimmy James. We're not going with that.
He also said that she had a good edit, and Jessica said that, look, everything I've done is real. I didn't get any good edits. If I had a good edit, they wouldn't have showed that conversation with Laura, because that was a bad look.
That is true.
So he still thinks the date lasted 10 minutes. Then she says, I wish somebody could show the receipts. And they give us the receipts.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I think they gave us the receipts.
No, they didn't give them the receipts.
But I don't think they gave them on stage the receipts.
No.
I think we saw, and we was like, oh, Jimmy James, how did this feel like 10 minutes? You know what I'm saying?
They showed that they were talking for an hour and a half. They took their break, came back in 8 minutes. They talked again for 50 minutes. And then by the time the date ended, it was 2 hours and 13 minutes that they had been talking.
That's a quick 10 minutes, is it, James?
Yeah. Next, Vanessa asks Chelsea her thoughts about the Megan Fox conversation.
Yeah, please. Come on, Chelsea.
Chelsea said it was a silly comment. She's proud of herself by how she's been handling all the backlash. And she says that
the world is harsh.
The world is hard. She says Brent asking it with grace and making humor out of it. I don't know what I was trying to say.
Okay, well let me go on this.
Oh, she was making humor out of it, and she's handled it with grace. She's proud of herself.
Listen, I'm not proud of you though, because what happened was it wasn't a joke. It wasn't something to be taken lightly. You used it as a tool to manipulate it to get your way to win over Jessica.
Yeah.
Don't try. That's why I don't understand this whole relationship. Jessica, I wish I had another foot for you too. This whole thing with Auntie Chelsea. Chelsea was trying to defeat you.
Yeah.
Dishonestly.
With lies.
Exactly. So the whole thing about it is she was trying to make it to where it was unfair for you, Jessica, when it was your time to have your one-on-one date with Jimmy. And Jimmy, I'm not giving you no bail either, because you chose Chelsea off the strength that she said Megan Fox. Because you said in the confessional right after the scene, can I marry you now? That's what he said in the confessional. Yep. That's exactly what he said. Is that what he said?
Yeah, so I feel like his mind was made up. As much as he says no, like, I think he wasn't feeling how Jessica talked to him, which is just very direct. I think he likes to be able to squirm and lie and kind of like move his words around. And I think he could do that with Chelsea, because Chelsea is just out out to lunch half the time.
Look, listen here. Guys are more simplistic than that. He didn't choose Jessica because she had a baby. Okay. A child. True. He chose Chelsea because she said she looked like Megan Fox. So, Jimmy James, I don't feel sorry for you. You get what I'm saying? This whole thing about how you felt like Jessica was talking to you weird. No, you just couldn't be man enough to say, I don't want to raise your kid.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And that would have been fine to say.
Exactly. So, like, I really have no bail for any of them. But, Chelsea, this whole thing about, like, you know, like the world is harsh, you participated in that. You lie to try to manipulate. And when we are the ones that have eyes that can see and see, like, girl, why are you lying like this? Now we're harsh?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, they move on to some of the former contestants that have big news. So Zach and Bliss are pregnant, and we see their baby shower, and they are having a baby girl.
Congrats.
Alexa is pregnant, and she and her husband are looking for a house.
Yeah.
Alexa asked Brittany and Kenneth if they wanted at least to try to do it to see if they could get the crave that Brittany was talking about.
Question.
And Brittany made a decision to wait until marriage. And she was saying basically sex is an addition to. Like, I wanted to be 100% confident in my relationship first. And it wasn't something that I needed to test out to figure out where I was at.
Facts.
Yeah. And I totally agree with Brittany. And I was like, if that's your decision, like, no, I don't have to sleep with somebody to figure out anything.
And what did Kenneth do to deserve that?
Yeah.
What do you mean the crave? Like I thought that was a wild question, but it is what it is.
Well, Nick asked why Kenneth didn't get off his phone.
Finally.
Kenneth says that he's a principal. He's a very hands-on principal. He was gone for 3 weeks, and he was trying to find the middle ground between his commitments and his love life.
Your thoughts?
That wasn't a sufficient answer for me. You are newly married in this house with your fiance, and you're on your phone for what seems like forever.
So you could never be in a relationship then.
I'm just like, okay, so clearly, like he said, he doesn't have work-life balance. Well, yeah, then none of your relationships will work. Because why? You need to, like, designate time. Don't you, like, work, what, 9 to 5 or something like that? You should have designated time to talk to and catch up with people. But I guess with him, he's saying that he works around the clock, off the clock, 24/7. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That can't be true, because I always say people lie to you for one reason. It's not because they lie to you because they believe that you're stupid. So when Kenneth telling us this lie, I won't allow him to call me stupid by watching this show. So you are so hands-on that you answer emails all through the day, all through the night. So you don't have a work and life balance. So I'm guessing your employees don't have it either. So they be on their phone all day too. So y'all just one big cult of answering text messages and emails all through the night, as if they're not married, as if they don't have kids, as if they don't have social lives. So they can have social lives, but you can't?
Right.
Because you a hands-on principal. Stop it. It's not like he's the school principal of freaking Lean on Me. What is the name of that school? Did you see that movie?
I've seen it, but I ain't seen it in years.
Yeah. You're not that.
Yeah.
Okay? So the fact that you even took 3 weeks off and your school was still standing and things of that nature, it just shows that it can operate without you and things like that. And not operate without you as if you need to lose your job. But as hands-on as you try to sell us on, it's not needed.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it at all either.
Nick says that it seemed you weren't fazed by the breakup. And Candace says that everyone processes differently. He was emotional, but it didn't happen at that moment. He actually called Clay later on in shambles.
My brother in arms.
Kenneth and Brittany now FaceTime every day. They're not in a relationship, but they have a great bond. They had a conversation. Brittany even said, like, she's met some of the students, some of the parents of the kids. Like, she's, like, actually, like, gotten to know some of his family, all that type of stuff.
What do, like, you think about that?
It's weird to me. I'm trying to be your wife. I'm not trying to be your homie. But if you want to just be my friend, I don't want to be your friend. I'm sorry. I was your fiance. I don't want to be your friend.
Outside of that, why are you the friend meeting everybody as if you're the wife?
Exactly.
I don't understand. Why am I meeting your employees?
Exactly.
Why am I meeting your family? As if you didn't just leave me on this experiment. What are they doing to us on this segment right here?
I don't know. I mean, I understand if people want to end things on a good note and be cool, but at the same time, I don't need to be that involved in your life. We can go hang out for lunch.
Yeah, we talk every day. We FaceTime every day. And guess what? She even came to the school. She met some of the kids. She even met my family. I'm like, what the hell? What is this?
Like, no.
No, this is weird.
Yeah. Well, they did have a conversation about when they start to date other people and how that will affect their friendship. And they know that they'll have to respect their partners whenever that time comes. So I guess they're going to slow down the communication.
Listen here. I have a lot of platonic female friends. Never once did they have a conversation with me about when they started dating whoever they wanted to date. So if y'all on this platonic level of where y'all just friends, why y'all need to have a conversation about, quote unquote, when y'all start dating other people?
Right.
He told you no, Brittany. On TV. I heard he had to reshoot that scene. So he told you no twice. You get what I'm saying? So, Brittany, I don't understand you. If I had more sets of feet, I have one for you too. Kenneth, I don't believe nothing you just told me on this segment right here. Even though they was like, finally, y'all get to talk to us. And I understand we did hang on Jeremy and Sarah Ann just a little bit too long.
Yeah, they really didn't have their segment.
But if y'all was going to give us this, I would have put y'all on the couch with them.
Yeah.
Because basically like, oh yeah, we just close friends now, and we don't really get an explanation of why he was on the phone or why he shut down and things of that nature. And we just supposed to believe that he broke down in private with Clay, who we don't believe Clay. So I'm like, no, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, well, we get an update. Colleen and Matt, they've moved in together. Okay. She says that you will make it out on the other side to the season 6 cast.
Okay.
Matthew has declined to attend the reunion.
This is important, guys. Listen up.
We see the combos that AD and Amber had with Matthew, and he did tell them the same thing.
Basically.
AD shared that her father passed, and that was an intimate conversation. AD didn't connect to Matthew well, she did connect with Matthew in the real world. And they went on a few dates, two exactly. The first one, he wanted to just apologize. And then she thought he was cute. They went on a second date. He cooked for her. And then it fizzled out.
Stop right there. I need you to stop. So let's go through this recurrent events.
Okay.
Of what AD is performing for us in her circus.
Okay.
Right? When they asked her about Matthew, you realize she was looking at Clay like, I'm about to say some things that may make you uncomfortable. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And Clay's got this thing with his eyes where he's looking everywhere with his eyes. But you got to understand something. Be careful. The guy may not be mad that he lost you. He just may be mad that he lost. Right. Right? I don't think Clay is sweating AD in my opinion.
I don't either.
So I think AD is on this high horse that quote unquote lets her high horse keeps getting her played. You get what I'm saying? Because the men just fill her head up, they put a battery in her back, and the next thing you know, she's like, I did everything that basically I was supposed to do. So let's go through this. She quote unquote meets up with Matthew, right? She said he's cute. They have the first date, the first meetup. I can understand the first meetup because he just ran out on her to go after Amber. And this is supposed to be a close-knit group of the people on the show. So he probably just wanted to see her, just meet her in person. Yeah. Okay. The first date, I just want to apologize, Blair, how I left out on you. That wasn't me. I'm sorry. The second date, I'm cooking dinner for you in my house.
That's what I'm saying. Where we at when we cooking dinner?
Because
we at your place or his?
You realize she said the second day he cooked for me. He invited me over and cooked for me. Why are you in that man's house? The same way as I could say there is no good conversation or any conversation at all going at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Why do dinner got to be eaten in somebody's house on the second date?
Exactly.
Now, I'm supposed to believe the one that likes to paint their nails red to match with the red flags, to match with the red nose and things of that nature, just went there to eat dinner.
And the fact that she was so offended because he was having these intimate conversations with her. She was revealing the stuff about her dad, and her dad passed away. And she was so hurt by it. And this man even left you to find another woman.
We didn't even end up with her. You get what I'm saying?
But you go to his house for him to cook dinner for you. And then who knows what happened after that.
Come on now. Come on. We all adults here.
Now, I'm going to say it like this. AD's grown. If she want to do whatever she want to do, that's fine. But I'm not joining the circus of feeling bad for AD for these situations. I'm at this point, you know what you're doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And have a great time. Be safe.
Be safe. Because, listen here, people on here calling him a psycho. I don't think he's a psycho. But my whole thing is, I just don't understand how you don't understand how you be finding yourself in these situations. Yeah. When you be walking right into them smiling.
And my thing is, I could understand it. Late teens, early 20s. We 30-something now. Now it is actually a decision. It's not I didn't know. He invited me to his house. I didn't know what was going to happen. And not to say that in like a asking for it, like violent type of situation. But I'm just saying, like, if you put yourself in certain situations, you relay a certain message.
My thing is, it don't sound good that y'all went on 2 dates and one of those dates was in his house. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Because there's nothing that Matthew could have done so much in that first date that that earned him a second date in his house.
Absolutely not.
There's not enough.
Unless it's something you just wanted to do. And if you want to do that,
no,
fine.
My thing is, if she wanted to do that, I'm all for it if she wanted to do it. But don't have us feeling sorry for you,
right?
And make us and have us doing think pieces on you about how much you deserve the world and how much the black woman is slighted and things like that. AD is beautiful. How come people objectifying her? Don't have us doing that when you're the one wearing the slip all the way from the top of your shoulder all the way down to your ankle.
Okay,
you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like this is what you want to do, and we just have to accept as viewers that guess what. You are empowered to do whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. Not going to feel bad for you at all.
Nope.
Mm-mm. Well, Kwame and Chelsea are doing good. It's been 2 years of marriage, and we find out Chelsea is now working for Love is Blind, and she's open to a lifestyle to where she can travel now, which was a big issue they had. Micah and Izzy are going to be on the next season of Perfect Match along with Jessica. And we find out Jessica and Micah have become really close friends and Izzy has fixed his credit.
I still don't think you got any money though, Izzy, but I hear you, bro.
Vanessa asked everyone what their favorite part about the process was. And Brennan said, who said it? Somebody said watching the show is like therapy. Brennan, Alexa's husband. He said it's like therapy because it actually produces great conversation between him and his wife to actually talk through different things.
Yeah, just for clarification, guys, this show is not therapy. Okay, it is not therapy.
It's comedy.
If that, this season was comedy. I know that.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That was the end.
That's the end
episode.
of it. We made it to an hour of just talking about this show.
Yeah.
We have another show and another show to record. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Listen here. Leave your comments. I want to see what y'all saying. I want to see if y'all felt like I did a good job with keeping my foot on Chelsea's neck. And now I added AD to the thing. Am I too hard on AD?
No.
I feel deceived by AD. That's why I'm hurt.
Well, my thing is, I was feeling bad for her. I felt like people were mistreating her. I felt like, Clay was lying to her. But at the same time, Clay was being very clear.
I'm about to say, in the first,
he was actually being very clear.
In the first episodes of things of that nature, she told us that when she see red flags, she paint her nails red.
Yeah.
So
I think from that, I should have known.
You should have.
I should have known.
It's us.
Yeah. It's me. It's not her.
It's not you.
No.
I take accountability. Listen here. We go get a Married at First Sight review out. We will get a My 600 Pound Life review out. Make sure y'all that come to join to watch this, don't click off and just leave our channel.
Come hang out.
Just don't use me.
Exactly.
And use my wife.
Chill
subscribe. Watch the other shows. Go back and watch the whole playlist. I'm sure we're gonna have some other shows when it comes to Love is Blind, because some other stuff is coming out now in real time that we probably gonna have a conversation about. It won't be an hour long, I know that. But thank y'all for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, all the above. Anything else, Blair?
That's all I got.
Y'all be good.
Bye.